Ladies and gentlemen, today we are diving into a peculiar paradox that many of us face but hesitate to admit: being ambitious yet lazy. It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? How can someone aspire to achieve great things but simultaneously feel tethered by inertia? This isn't just an occasional struggle. It's an archetype, a universal dilemma that resonates with countless individuals. Ambition at its core is a desire for transformation. It's the fire that pushes us to reach beyond our limits, to improve ourselves, to carve a path that's more significant than the one we're currently walking. It's the belief that life could be better and that we're capable of achieving it. Laziness, on the other hand, is often misunderstood. It's not always about a lack of drive. It can stem from fear of failure, an overwhelming sense of perfectionism, or even the paralysis caused by the sheer enormity of the goals we set. This internal conflict can feel like a cruel joke. You know what you want. You can almost taste the life you dream of. But when it comes to action, you stall. The ambition is there, glowing brightly in your mind, but the physical and mental effort required seems insurmountable, and so you procrastinate. You make excuses, you busy yourself with distractions, even convincing yourself that you're waiting for the right time. But here's the irony: ambition without action becomes a burden. The weight of unrealized potential grows heavier each day, leading to frustration and self-doubt. It's as if your laziness mocks you, whispering, "You could have been great if only you'd tried." And this cycle continues, eating away at your confidence and resolve. Why does this happen? Often it's because we set grandiose goals without building the scaffolding to support them. We want the big leap but neglect the small steps. Laziness is not a permanent state, it's a signal, a symptom of something deeper. It can point to a lack of structure, a fear of change, or even an aversion to the discomfort that growth inevitably demands. To break free from this paradox, it's not enough to push harder. You must think smarter. You must learn to negotiate with yourself, to acknowledge your limitations while finding strategies to overcome them. Discipline isn't about chaining yourself to misery. It's about creating a system where effort becomes habitual, where progress feels less like a mountain and more like a staircase. Ambition is a force that separates human beings from all other creatures. It is not just a fleeting wish or a vague hope for a better future. It is the deep, visceral desire to transcend what we are today and evolve into something more. Ambition is what drives a person to look beyond their immediate circumstances and envision a life that is richer, more fulfilling, and more meaningful. It is the essence of transformation, the fire that propels us to imagine a world where we are more capable, more knowledgeable, and more impactful than we currently are. At its heart, ambition is fueled by dissatisfaction, not the kind of dissatisfaction that leads to bitterness or despair, but a constructive kind. It's the feeling that whispers, "This is not enough," not because what you have is unworthy, but because you know you are capable of more. It is the recognition of potential, both seen and unseen. Ambition takes root in the belief that life is not static, that it can be molded, shaped, and improved. It is the push to climb, even when the summit is obscured by clouds. What makes ambition unique is that it is inherently human. Other animals may act out of instinct or survival, but ambition is driven by vision. It's the ability to conceptualize something that doesn't yet exist, a skill unique to the human mind. A person with ambition doesn't merely see what is, they see what could be. This is why ambition often feels like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it gives us purpose and direction, and on the other, it confronts us with the reality of our inadequacies, the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Ambition is also deeply personal. It reflects our values, our interests, and what we perceive as worth pursuing. For one person, ambition might manifest as the desire to write a novel that changes lives. For another, could be the pursuit of financial independence, the mastery of a craft, or the development of meaningful relationships. What matters is not the specific goal, but the underlying drive to achieve something greater than oneself. Ambition is the acknowledgement that we are works in progress, that we can refine ourselves endlessly in pursuit of what matters most. However, ambition is not purely individualistic. It has a ripple effect, impacting the people around us and even society at large. When someone pursues their ambitions, they often inspire others to do the same. Ambition can create movements, fuel innovation, and spark revolutions. It is the invisible thread that connects personal growth with the broader progress of humanity. The greatest achievements in history, from scientific discoveries to artistic masterpieces, it is ambition that drives people to challenge the status quo, to question limits, and to redefine what is possible. But ambition is not without its challenges. It requires courage, because the path to transformation is fraught with uncertainty and risk. Ambition means stepping out of the comfort zone, embracing discomfort, and facing failure head-on. It demands resilience, the willingness to fall and rise again, learning from every stumble. Ambition is not for the faint of heart. It calls on us to confront our fears, to let go of excuses, and to take responsibility for our lives. What's more, ambition is not static. It evolves as we do. What drives us at one stage of life may change as we grow older and our priorities shift. This fluid nature of ambition is part of its beauty. It reflects our ability to adapt, to reassess, and to continually strive for something better. Ambition is not a destination, it's a mindset, a way of approaching life with the belief that growth is always possible. Ultimately, ambition is not just about achieving external success, it's about becoming the person who is capable of achieving it. It's about developing the discipline, the skills, and the mindset required to bridge the gap between our current reality and our envisioned future. Ambition reminds us that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by how far we're willing to reach beyond them. It's the relentless pursuit of transformation, a testament to the limitless potential of the human spirit. Laziness is often dismissed as a lack of willpower or drive, but the truth is far more nuanced. It's easy to label someone as lazy when they don't meet expectations, but that label doesn't capture the complexity of what's happening beneath the surface. Laziness is rarely a simple unwillingness to act. Instead, it often stems from deeper psychological and emotional states that interfere with a person's ability to engage with their goals or responsibilities. When we take the time to look beyond the surface, we see that what we call laziness is often an intricate interplay of fear, perfectionism, overwhelm, and even biological tendencies. One of the primary drivers of laziness is fear of failure. Many people hesitate to begin tasks or pursue ambitions because they're paralyzed by the possibility of falling short. Failure, for some, feels like a confirmation of inadequacy, a proof that they're not good enough, not capable enough, or not worthy of success. To avoid confronting this fear, they retreat into inaction. It's not that they don't want to succeed, they desperately do, but the thought of failing often becomes so overwhelming that avoiding the task altogether feels safer than risking the pain of trying and falling short. Closely tied to this fear is perfectionism. Some individuals are not lazy because they lack ambition, but because their standards are so impossibly high that they're scared to begin. If they can't do something perfectly, they'd rather not do it at all. Perfectionism creates a mental environment where action feels like a constant threat to one's sense of self-worth. The idea of producing work that is anything less than flawless becomes intolerable, leading to procrastination and avoidance. To an outsider, this behavior may look like laziness, but it's really a defense mechanism against the crushing weight of perfectionistic expectations. Overwhelm is another common factor behind what we perceive as laziness. Ambitious goals often appear daunting when viewed as a whole. When faced with a mountain of responsibilities or an enormous, undefined project, people can feel paralyzed, unsure of where to start, or how to break the task into manageable pieces. The sheer scale of the challenge triggers a sense of helplessness, which can lead to avoidance. In these cases, laziness isn't an indication of apathy. It's a response to the anxiety of not knowing how to proceed. Another layer to laziness comes from the human tendency to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. Growth, change, and achievement often require effort, discipline, and persistence, all of which demand stepping outside of one's comfort zone. This aversion to discomfort is deeply ingrained in human nature. Our brains are wired to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary pain, a survival mechanism that served our ancestors well. However, in today's world, this instinct can become a barrier to progress. Laziness can be seen as the mind's way of protecting itself from the discomfort associated with effort and risk. Biology also plays a role in what we interpret as laziness. Factors such as low energy levels, poor sleep, or even nutritional deficiencies can affect motivation and drive. Mental health issues like depression and anxiety further compound this. A person struggling with these conditions may appear lazy on the surface, but their inaction is often a symptom of deeper struggles rather than a lack of character or ambition. What complicates matters further is that laziness can also emerge from a lack of clarity or purpose. When people don't have a clear vision of why they're doing something or what they stand to gain from it, they're less likely to take action. Purpose is a powerful motivator. Without it, tasks can feel meaningless and inertia sets in. When people are unsure about their goals or disconnected from their values, they may drift into a state of passivity, not because they don't care, but because they don't see the point. Ultimately, what we perceive as laziness is rarely about apathy or lack of effort. More often, it's a symptom of something deeper, a reflection of fear, perfectionism, overwhelm, discomfort, or even a lack of clarity. To address laziness, it's essential to approach it with understanding and curiosity rather than judgment. By recognizing the underlying causes, we can create environments and strategies that help people overcome these barriers and reconnect with their motivation and drive. Ambition, when left unrealized, doesn't quietly disappear. Instead, it festers. It becomes a weight that presses down on the psyche, creating a deep sense of frustration and unease. The gap between what you aspire to achieve and what you've actually done can feel like an ever-growing chasm, one that gnaws at your sense of self-worth. This is the painful paradox of ambition without action. The very drive that makes life feel purposeful becomes the source of internal conflict and suffering when it remains unfulfilled. When we dream of a better version of ourselves, whether it's a healthier body, a fulfilling career, or a meaningful relationship, we create a vision of the future that we yearn to inhabit. This vision is motivating, but it also sets a standard. When our actions don't align with our ambitions, that standard turns into a mirror, reflecting all the ways we've fallen short. The sense of potential, once inspiring, begins to feel like a burden. Instead of fueling hope, it becomes a reminder of what we haven't achieved, leading to feelings of inadequacy and regret. The problem isn't ambition itself. Ambition is a natural and necessary part of human existence. It's what drives progress, both personally and collectively. However, when ambition remains dormant, when it exists only as a thought or a daydream, it transforms into a source of torment. The weight of unrealized potential doesn't simply vanish, it accumulates over time, adding layers of self-doubt, guilt, and even resentment. This emotional toll can become a significant barrier to future action, as the more you fail to act on your ambitions, the more difficult it feels to start. This internal conflict often manifests as a sense of restlessness. You know there's something you want to do, something you could do, yet you find yourself stuck in a cycle of procrastination or avoidance. Each day that passes without progress amplifies the tension, creating a nagging sense of dissatisfaction. It's not that you're content with inaction, you're not. But the inertia of doing nothing can feel impossible to overcome. This cycle feeds on itself, making the distance between your ambitions and your reality feel even more insurmountable. Part of the problem lies in the way we romanticize ambition. We often focus on the end result, success, achievement, recognition, without fully appreciating the process required to get there. This can create a distorted view of ambition, one where the dream feels glorious, but the effort feels daunting. The mind clings to the idealized vision while simultaneously resisting the hard work it demands. This resistance isn't laziness, It's a natural response to the discomfort and uncertainty that come with growth. However, when the resistance wins, it leaves behind a bitter residue of disappointment. Moreover, the suffering caused by unrealized ambition is often compounded by comparison. In today's world, it's easier than ever to measure yourself against others, thanks to social media and the constant stream of curated success stories. When you see others achieving their goals while you remain stagnant, it intensifies the sense of failure. You start to wonder what's wrong with you, why you can't seem to take action while others make progress. This comparison doesn't just demotivate, it can erode your self-esteem, making it even harder to bridge the gap between ambition and action. What's particularly insidious about this dynamic is that it can create a feedback loop. The more you dwell on what you haven't done, the heavier the emotional burden becomes. This burden in turn saps your energy and confidence, making it even less likely that you'll take action. Over time, this can lead to a kind of learned helplessness, a belief that you're incapable of achieving your goals, no matter how much you might want them. Ambition, once a source of hope, becomes a source of despair. Breaking free from this cycle requires more than just willpower. It requires a shift in mindset, a willingness to redefine what ambition means and how it's pursued. The key lies in recognizing that ambition is not about perfection or instant success. It's about progress. Every step, no matter how small, is a victory. Unrealized ambition only becomes suffering when we allow inaction to persist. By taking even the smallest steps toward our goals, we begin to bridge the gap, turning frustration into momentum and potential into reality. Ambition without action is a heavy burden, but it's not a life sentence. It's a call to confront the barriers holding you back, to embrace the discomfort of effort, and to reclaim the sense of purpose that first ignited your dreams. It's not easy, but it is possible. And every step you take lightens the weight of unrealized potential. The human mind is a remarkable tool, capable of envisioning elaborate possibilities and generating ambitious goals. Yet it is inherently resistant to chaos and ambiguity. When confronted with unclear or overly complex tasks, the mind often retreats into procrastination and avoidance. This is where laziness thrives, not in the absence of desire or ambition, but in the presence of confusion and overwhelm. For action to occur, the mind needs clarity, structure, and a sense of direction. Without these elements, even the most motivated individual can find themselves paralyzed. Grand ambitions often fail because they lack clear incremental steps. It's easy to dream of significant achievements, writing a novel, building a successful business, or running a marathon, but these dreams can feel impossibly vast when viewed as a whole. The enormity of the goal looms large, creating a psychological barrier that discourages effort. When the steps to success are vague, the mind perceives the task as chaotic and insurmountable. And laziness sets in as a defense mechanism. It's not that the individual lacks drive, it's that they lack a clear path forward. Clarity transforms ambition into action. It breaks down monumental goals into manageable pieces, creating a roadmap that guides effort and eliminates uncertainty. For example, if someone aspires to write a novel, the idea of completing 800 words can feel overwhelming. However, breaking it down into daily writing goals, perhaps 500 words a day, makes the task feel achievable. Each small step provides a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing momentum and reducing the mental resistance that fuels inaction. A lack of clarity also creates an emotional toll. When people don't know where to start, they often experience anxiety and frustration. This emotional weight can drain energy and motivation, further perpetuating the cycle of avoidance. The mind craves order, a sense of predictability that allows it to focus on what needs to be done. Chaos, on the other hand, leads to mental fatigue, leaving individuals feeling stuck and incapable of moving forward. Furthermore, clarity doesn't just make tasks easier, it makes them meaningful. When goals are vague or poorly defined, it's hard to connect with their purpose. Without understanding why a task matters or what it contributes to a larger vision, motivation dwindles. Clear goals provide a sense of direction and purpose, making the effort feel worthwhile. For example, the goal of getting healthier might feel too broad to inspire action, but breaking it down into specific, actionable steps like exercise for 30 minutes 3 times a week, or replace sugary drinks with water creates focus. Each step not only feels achievable, but also ties into the larger purpose of improving one's well-being. Clarity also has the power to build confidence. When tasks are broken down into smaller, manageable pieces, individuals are more likely to experience early successes. These small wins create a positive feedback loop, reinforcing the belief that progress is possible. Success, no matter how minor, boosts self-esteem and provides the momentum needed to tackle the next step. In contrast, a lack of clarity often results in stagnation, which can erode confidence and lead to a sense of failure. Another benefit of clarity is that it minimizes decision fatigue. When goals are ill-defined, every step forward requires deliberation. What should I do next? How should I approach this? Is this the right move? This constant decision-making drains mental energy and makes it harder to sustain effort. Clear, well-structured goals eliminate much of this guesswork, allowing individuals to channel their energy into execution rather than planning. For example, a fitness plan that outlines specific workouts for each day removes the need to decide what to do at the gym, making it easier to stay consistent. Clarity also provides a framework for measuring progress. When goals are broken into clearer steps, it's easier to track achievements and identify areas that need improvement. This creates a sense of accountability and maintain focus over time. Without clear benchmarks, it's easy to lose sight of progress, leading to discouragement and a sense of stagnation. A student preparing for an exam, for instance, can feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of material. Ultimately, the mind's resistance to chaos is a natural response designed to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary effort. By providing structure and clarity, we align with this tendency, making it easier to take action. Laziness is not an inherent flaw. It's a symptom of disorganization and overwhelm. When we address these root causes, we create an environment where effort feels natural and progress becomes inevitable. Clarity doesn't just guide the mind, it empowers it, turning ambition into a series of achievable steps rather than an insurmountable mountain. This shift transforms the way we approach our goals, making action not only possible, but sustainable. The tension between effort and comfort is a defining aspect of human behavior. On the one hand, we are driven by ambition, the desire to grow, achieve, and overcome challenges. On the other, we are wired for comfort, seeking to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary stress or discomfort. This duality is at the heart of why so many ambitious individuals struggle to take consistent action. Growth requires effort, and effort often demands stepping outside of the safe and familiar. Yet, our natural instincts frequently urge us to retreat to what feels easy and secure. This internal conflict is not a flaw, but an inherent part of the human experience. The pursuit of comfort is deeply ingrained in our biology. For much of human history, survival depended on conserving energy and avoiding risks unless absolutely necessary. This evolutionary wiring ensured that our ancestors could endure periods of scarcity and danger. However, in the modern world, where survival is less about immediate threats and more about long-term achievement, this instinct can become a barrier. The mind often interprets effort and challenge as threats to well-being, prompting avoidance behaviors that feel like laziness, but are, in fact, survival mechanisms. Ambition, however, operates on a different level. It demands action, persistence, and the willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of a greater goal. Ambition pushes us to confront uncertainty, take risks, and expend energy in ways that may not yield immediate rewards. The clash between these two forces, ambition and comfort, creates a psychological tug-of-war. On one side is the drive to pursue a meaningful life, and on the other is the pull to remain in the safety of the familiar. This conflict is often the root of procrastination, hesitation, and the feeling of being stuck. The allure of comfort is especially potent because it offers immediate gratification. When faced with a challenging task, The brain naturally seeks out easier, more pleasurable alternatives. This is why people often find themselves scrolling through social media, watching TV, or engaging in other distractions instead of working toward their goals. These activities provide a quick dopamine hit, reinforcing the habit of choosing comfort over effort. Meanwhile, the long-term rewards of ambition, success, growth, and fulfillment feel distant and uncertain, making them harder to prioritize in the moment. What makes this dynamic even more challenging is that comfort doesn't just prevent action, it often leads to a deeper sense of dissatisfaction. While retreating into comfort may provide temporary relief, it doesn't address the underlying desire for progress and achievement. Over time, the gap between ambition and reality grows wider. The very behaviors designed to protect the individual from discomfort end up causing a different kind of pain, the pain of stagnation and unrealized potential. Breaking free from this cycle requires a conscious effort to reframe the relationship between effort and comfort. It's not about eliminating the desire for comfort entirely. That would be unrealistic and counterproductive. Instead, it's about recognizing that true fulfillment often lies on the other side of discomfort. The discomfort of effort is temporary, but the rewards it yields, personal growth, accomplishment, and self-respect, are enduring. By embracing discomfort as a necessary part of the process, individuals can begin to shift their mindset and take consistent action toward their goals. One of the most effective ways to navigate this tension is to create small, manageable steps that bridge the gap between effort and comfort. The brain is far less resistant to tasks that feel achievable and non-threatening. For example, committing to 5 minutes of work on a daunting project can often lead to a sense of momentum, making it easier to continue. This approach minimizes the initial discomfort while still fostering progress, gradually training the mind to associate effort with positive outcomes rather than fear or avoidance. Another strategy is to make the pursuit of ambition more appealing by linking it to intrinsic rewards. When tasks are aligned with personal values and interests, they feel less like obligations and more like opportunities for growth. For instance, someone who values creativity might find joy in brainstorming ideas for a project, while someone who values connection might be motivated by the prospect of collaborating with others. By tapping into these deeper motivations, individuals can create a sense of purpose that outweighs the pull of comfort. It's also important to cultivate resilience in the face of discomfort. This means developing the mental and emotional tools needed to push through resistance and stay focused on long-term goals. Practices such as mindfulness, self-reflection, and self-compassion can help individuals navigate the challenges of effort without becoming overwhelmed. These practices encourage a more balanced approach, allowing individuals to acknowledge their discomfort without letting it dictate their actions. Ultimately, the struggle between ambition and comfort is a defining aspect of personal growth. It's a challenge that every individual must confront in their own way, learning to balance the desire for ease with the drive to achieve. While the pull of comfort will always be present, it doesn't have to dominate. By embracing effort as a necessary and even rewarding part of the journey, individuals can begin to move beyond the limitations of comfort and toward the fulfillment of their ambitions. This shift requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to confront the discomfort head on. But it is through this process that true progress becomes possible. The power of small actions often goes unnoticed in the pursuit of ambitious goals. People tend to fixate on monumental achievements, seeing them as the ultimate validation of success. However, focusing solely on the big picture can lead to a dangerous kind of paralysis. The sheer magnitude of an ambitious goal can feel overwhelming, making it seem unattainable. This is where the concept of small actions becomes invaluable. Small steps, though seemingly insignificant, create momentum, build confidence, and ultimately lay the foundation for meaningful progress. Ambitious goals often fail not because they are unreachable, but because the path to achieving them is unclear or intimidating. When the mind tries to comprehend the entirety of a massive task, it can quickly become overwhelmed, leading to procrastination and avoidance. A person who dreams of starting a successful business, for instance, might be daunted by all the unknowns: market research, funding, product development, marketing, and so on. The enormity of the goal triggers a psychological freeze, where the brain prefers inaction to the discomfort of not knowing where to begin. This is where small actions shine. They break the overwhelming task into digestible pieces that feel manageable and less intimidating. Small actions are deceptively powerful because they circumvent the mind's resistance to effort. When a task feels small and achievable, the brain is more likely to engage with it. Writing a single paragraph is far less intimidating than writing an entire book. Making one phone call feels easier than launching a full-scale project. These small, manageable steps serve as entry points, reducing the psychological barriers to action. Once the first step is taken, momentum builds, making it easier to take the next step and the one after that. Over time, these small actions accumulate, leading to significant progress without the individual feeling overwhelmed. Momentum is one of the most critical factors in achieving ambitious goals, and small actions are the key to generating it. When you take even the smallest step toward a goal, you create a sense of movement, which reinforces the belief that progress is possible. This momentum not only fuels motivation, but also helps to overcome inertia. The human mind thrives on a sense of accomplishment, no matter how minor. Completing a small task provides a dopamine boost, creating a positive feedback loop that encourages further effort. It's the psychological equivalent of gaining traction. The more you achieve, the more motivated you become to keep going. Small actions also help to build confidence. When people focus solely on the end goal, they often feel inadequate, doubting their ability to achieve something so grand. However, successfully completing small tasks provides evidence of capability. Each small victory serves as a reminder that progress is possible and that the goal, no matter how ambitious, is within reach. This growing sense of confidence is essential for tackling increasingly complex challenges along the way. It's like climbing a mountain. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to the summit and proves that you're capable of continuing the journey. Another critical aspect of small actions is their ability to create habits. Consistency is often more important than intensity when it comes to achieving long-term goals. Small, repeated actions have the power to shape behavior over time, turning effort into routine. For instance, committing to 10 minutes of daily exercise is far more sustainable than trying to adopt an overly ambitious fitness regimen overnight. These small, consistent actions build a foundation of discipline and resilience, making it easier to sustain effort over the long term. Once a habit is established, it becomes second nature, requiring less mental energy and willpower to maintain. Small actions also provide clarity. Taking action, no matter how minor, often reveals information that wasn't apparent at the start. For example, a person who begins researching a new skill might discover resources, opportunities, or challenges they hadn't anticipated. Each step forward provides feedback, allowing the individual to refine their approach and adjust their strategy. This iterative process makes the path to achieving ambitious goals clearer and more navigable. Without taking those initial small actions, this clarity would remain out of reach, leaving the individual stuck in a cycle of overthinking and inaction. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about small actions is how they can snowball into something far greater than anticipated. What starts as a single step can lead to a cascade of opportunities and achievements. The act of beginning, of taking that first small action, often unlocks doors that were previously hidden. A person who starts writing a single page a day might, over time, complete a novel. Someone who makes one networking call might land a life-changing opportunity. This compounding effect demonstrates that small actions are not just preliminary steps, they are the building blocks of success. The beauty of small actions lies in their accessibility. They require neither extraordinary resources nor exceptional effort, just a willingness to begin. This accessibility makes them universally applicable, regardless of the scale or nature of the goal. Whether someone is trying to improve their health, advance their career, or pursue a passion, Small actions offer a practical and effective way forward. They transform ambition from an abstract dream into a tangible reality, one step at a time. By focusing on what can be done today, in this moment, anyone can make meaningful progress toward even the loftiest goals. The power of accountability in driving human behavior cannot be overstated. At its core, accountability provides a framework of external and internal checks that propel individuals to follow through on their commitments. While ambition is deeply personal and goals are often set internally, externalizing those goals through accountability transforms mere intentions into actionable realities. Without accountability, the pull of distraction, procrastination, and laziness often wins, as it is far too easy to let oneself off the hook. However, with accountability in place, there is an added layer of responsibility that reinforces discipline, consistency, and commitment. One of the primary reasons accountability works is because it creates a sense of obligation beyond oneself. When you share your goals with someone else, be it a friend, mentor, colleague, or even a group, you are inviting external eyes to observe your progress. This creates a kind of psychological contract. You feel a duty to meet the expectation. For example, if you commit to a weekly check-in with a friend about your fitness progress, the simple fact that someone else is aware of your goal motivates you to follow through. Knowing that someone is watching, even casually, can act as a powerful deterrent to giving up or slacking off. Accountability also helps bridge the gap between ambition and execution by fostering clarity and structure. When you articulate your goals to someone else, you are forced to think critically about what you want to achieve and how you plan to do it. This process brings vague intentions into focus, breaking them down into specific, actionable steps. It's one thing to tell yourself, I want to improve my writing, but it's another to commit to a mentor, I will write 500 words every day for the next month. The latter statement carries weight, specificity, and a timeline, elements that naturally encourage action. Moreover, accountability introduces an element of positive pressure. While the idea of pressure often carries negative connotations, in this context it serves as a motivator. When you know someone is expecting you to deliver on your commitments, it becomes harder to justify excuses or rationalize inaction. This pressure acts as a counterbalance to the mind's natural tendency toward laziness and comfort, nudging you toward productivity even when motivation is low. For example, an individual who has committed to presenting their progress at a team meeting will feel compelled to put in the effort necessary to avoid embarrassment or disappointment. This kind of pressure can be transformative, pushing people to achieve things they might not have accomplished on their own. Another powerful aspect of accountability is the role it plays in creating a support system. Pursuing ambitious goals can often feel isolating, particularly when the challenges seem insurmountable. Accountability introduces a relational element to the process, providing encouragement, feedback, and perspective. A mentor can offer insights to navigate roadblocks, a friend can celebrate small victories, and a peer can commiserate during setbacks. This sense of connection reduces the emotional weight of the journey, making it easier to stay on track. When accountability is paired with support, it transforms the pursuit of ambition from a solitary struggle into a collaborative endeavor. Accountability also enhances self-awareness. Regular check-ins with an accountability partner or group require you to reflect on your progress, identify areas of improvement, and confront any excuses or patterns of avoidance. This process of self-examination fosters growth and adaptability. By analyzing what is working and what isn't, you gain a clearer understanding of your strengths and weaknesses. This insight not only helps you stay aligned with your goals, but also equips you with the tools to adjust your strategies and overcome obstacles. Interestingly, accountability doesn't always have to come from external sources. While external accountability is effective, cultivating internal accountability can be equally powerful. Internal accountability involves developing a strong sense of personal integrity and self-discipline. It's the ability to hold yourself to the same standards you would expect from others. The image of inviting the inner boy or inner girl and the boy should be the focus of our consideration. Journaling, setting deadlines for yourself, and conducting regular self-assessments are all ways to build internal accountability. Over time, this practice strengthens your internal compass, allowing you to rely less on external motivators and more on your own sense of responsibility. Technology has also amplified the effectiveness of accountability in recent years. Tools such as habit tracking apps, shared calendars, and productivity platforms enable individuals to monitor their progress and share updates with others. Social media, while often seen as a distraction, can also serve as a powerful accountability tool when used intentionally. Publicly declaring a goal, whether it's training for a marathon or completing a creative project, creates a broad network of observers, adding an extra layer of accountability. The knowledge that others are following your journey can provide a compelling incentive to stay consistent. Ultimately, accountability transforms ambition from an abstract concept into a lived reality. It bridges the gap between dreaming and doing by creating structures, relationships, and systems that reinforce action. It's not simply about having someone to answer to, it's about creating an environment where excuses are minimized, effort is encouraged, and progress is celebrated. Whether through external support, internal discipline, or technological tools, accountability ensures that ambition is not just an idea, but a tangible pursuit. It turns fleeting inspiration into sustained effort and transforms the pursuit of goals from a lonely struggle into a shared journey of growth and achievement. The process of turning ambition into achievement relies heavily on the ability to adapt and evolve along the way. The path toward any significant goal is rarely linear. It is filled with unexpected challenges, shifting circumstances, and moments of uncertainty. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or driven, but often the ones most willing to adjust their strategies when reality diverges from their expectations. Adaptability is not merely a skill, but a mindset, one that allows individuals to remain open, flexible, and responsive in the face of change. It is a critical component in overcoming the friction between ambition and laziness. Ambition, by nature, sets a vision of the future, an idealized endpoint that one hopes to reach. However, the journey to that vision is always influenced by factors outside of one's control. Economic changes, personal setbacks, the unpredictability of life. Clinging rigidly to a single plan or approach often leads to frustration and stagnation when those factors arise. Adaptability, on the other hand, acknowledges that while the goal may remain constant, the methods to achieve it must evolve in response to reality. This fluidity is what allows ambitious individuals to maintain momentum, even when their original plans falter. Adaptability begins with a willingness to embrace uncertainty. For many, the unknown can be intimidating, a source of anxiety that paralyzes action, yet uncertainty is an inherent part of any ambitious pursuit. The most successful individuals are those who view uncertainty not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth. When faced with unexpected challenges, they resist the urge to retreat into comfort or avoid action. Instead, they approach these moments with curiosity and a problem-solving mindset, asking, what can I learn from this? How can I adjust? This shift in perspective transforms obstacles into opportunities to refine and improve. Central to adaptability is the ability to reframe failure. In any ambitious endeavor, failure is inevitable. It is a natural part of progress. Yet many people see failure as a definitive endpoint, a sign that their efforts were in vain. This mindset reinforces laziness, as the fear of failing again can discourage further action. Adaptable individuals, however, view failure as feedback. They understand that every setback provides valuable information about what works and what doesn't. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, they analyze them, extract insights, and use those lessons to adjust their approach. This iterative process allows them to stay on course even when the road becomes difficult. Another critical aspect of adaptability is flexibility in goal setting. While ambition provides a sense of direction, it is essential to periodically reassess whether the goals themselves remain relevant and meaningful. Sometimes what seemed important at the outset no longer aligns with personal values, circumstances, or priorities. Adapting doesn't mean abandoning ambition, but rather refining it to reflect current realities. This willingness to recalibrate ensures that effort is focused on pursuits that truly matter, rather than being wasted on outdated or misaligned objectives. Adaptability also involves leveraging creativity to find new solutions. When faced with a roadblock, a rigid mindset often sees only two options: push through or give up. An adaptable mindset, however, explores alternative paths, seeking innovative ways to overcome the challenge. This creative problem solving can lead to breakthroughs that might not have been possible with a more linear approach. For example, someone struggling to make progress on a project might explore new tools, collaborate with others, or approach the problem from a different angle. This kind of thinking not only fosters progress, but also builds resilience, as it demonstrates that there are always multiple ways to achieve a goal. Another important element of adaptability is the ability to manage emotions during times of change. Ambitious individuals are often deeply invested in their goals, and setbacks can trigger feelings of frustration, disappointment, or self-doubt. These emotions, if left unchecked, can lead to a spiral of inaction and avoidance. Adaptability requires emotional regulation, the ability to acknowledge and process these feelings without letting them dictate behavior. Practices such as mindfulness, self-reflection, or seeking support from others can help maintain focus and clarity during challenging times. By managing emotions effectively, individuals can remain steady and purposeful in their pursuit of long-term goals. Adaptability also thrives on a commitment to lifelong learning. The willingness to acquire new skills, explore unfamiliar ideas, and expand one's knowledge base is essential for navigating an ever-changing landscape. In a world that evolves rapidly, relying solely on existing knowledge and methods can quickly render one obsolete. Those who embrace learning as an ongoing process are better equipped to adapt to new challenges and seize emerging opportunities, whether through formal education, mentorship, or self-directed exploration. This openness to growth ensures that ambition is supported by the tools and insights needed to achieve it. At its core, adaptability is about resilience. It's the ability to stay committed to a goal while being flexible about the means of achieving it. It requires humility to accept that not everything will go according to plan, courage to confront uncertainty, and resourcefulness to find new paths forward. This combination of traits enables individuals to persist through the ups and downs of any ambitious endeavor, ensuring that setbacks become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. In the interplay between ambition and laziness, adaptability acts as a counterbalance to the inertia that keeps people stuck. It prevents the paralysis of overplanning, the discouragement of failure, and the complacency of comfort. By embracing change, learning from experience, and remaining open to new possibilities, individuals can bridge the gap between their aspirations and their actions. Adaptability turns ambition into a dynamic process, one that evolves in response to challenges and opportunities, and ultimately transforms dreams into reality. In conclusion, the journey from ambition to achievement is often hindered by an internal battle between drive and discomfort, effort and ease, action and procrastination. Yet understanding and navigating this struggle is crucial for anyone who seeks to transform their dreams into tangible outcomes. The key lies in recognizing that ambition alone is not enough. It must be paired with consistent effort, strategic planning, and a willingness to adapt. Small actions, external accountability, and the power of reframing failure can serve as powerful tools to break the cycle of inertia and turn intentions into accomplishments. It is essential to understand that the pursuit of ambitious goals is rarely linear, and setbacks are inevitable. However, the ability to adapt, learn, and adjust one's approach is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. By embracing discomfort, reframing failure as growth, and breaking goals into manageable steps, individuals can build momentum and confidence along the way. Additionally, accountability, whether external or internal, serves as an anchor, keeping one grounded and motivated even when the path becomes challenging. Ultimately, the journey toward any meaningful achievement requires resilience, patience, and a commitment to continual progress. It's not about achieving perfection, but about taking consistent, deliberate actions that move you closer to your goals. With a mindset that embraces both ambition and the effort required to manifest it, anyone can transform their